Hello, my name is Shanna Pecora, and I'm the coordinator of student success and engagement at Allen College. Today, I would like to talk with you about study skills, specifically study skills for the college level. Many students struggle when they get into higher education because they haven't developed high impact, active study skills needed for those programs. Now, this isn't a reflection on the student. Most students may not have ever needed to utilize these skills before. However, being able to understand what skills are considered low, medium, and high impact and when to use them can save you a lot of academic struggle and strife. Before we dive in, I want to emphasize what I mean by low, medium, and high impact. What I mean is how much information you typically retain from that study skill when learning new information. As we dive in, let's start with low impact study skills. Low impact study skills help you retain about 10 to 30% of what you studied, especially when it's new information. While that seems very low, there are many uses for these techniques. As you can see, I have a variety of listed that fall into this category. Things like Quizlet, flashcards, reading the textbook, watching videos. The reason these are classified as low impact is because they don't use what is known as active recall. Active recall is where your mind works to pull the information from your long-term memory bank and make connections between various topics. Things like summarizing a chapter or listening to a group discussion can be useful in reviewing the material, but it doesn't help with learning it long-term. Even still, there are many uses for low-impact study skills. Mainly, they allow a complete review of the material. Now, many students do what is known as studying for the test. This means that you're only studying material that you need to pass the test or that's on a study sheet. While that may have worked before, when you get into higher education, there is an expectation that you turn your attention to study for mastery, thus being able to use the information for long term. Low impact study skills will help you retain the information you've already learned through regular review, which can be helpful for comprehensive exams and for the mastery of knowledge. This regular review of material is important as it fights what is known as memory decay, which is essentially when your brain starts forgetting and deleting information that it doesn't deem important or use regularly. Doing activities such as watching videos, rereading your notes, and doing flashcards help keep the information fresh in your brain and prevents memory decay. It's also easy to do, which makes it a go-to choice when it comes to studying for most students. However, as I mentioned before, these low impact study skills do not have what it takes to help you learn new information effectively, and it especially doesn't help you connect various topics together through critical thinking. Because of this, using just these skills means you'd have to dedicate a lot more of your time in order to get new information into your long-term memory bank. For that reason, you'll want to use medium and high impact study skills to learn the information, but use low impact study skills to refresh yourself on the information. Low impact study skills for maximum use should be utilized at least once a week for all the course content. And that means all the course content, old and new, no matter what the test will cover. The goal is to have regular review of all the content so it stays fresh and makes it easier to master and make connections in the future. The other great thing about these strategies is that you can use them for pocket work. Things like flashcards or a study sheet to review can be done while riding in a car or on the bus, while waiting for class to start, or even while eating your lunch. Pocket work is a great way to review and make the most of your study time. Now, medium impact study skills can help you retain anywhere from 40 to 60% of the material you study. For this reason, it can be very effective when new classes and content. Study skills such as doing mind maps, creating mnemonics, creating diagrams and charts. The goal of the medium impact study skills is to use the information you've learned in a new and creative way. Perhaps you compare and contrast two topics, or you color code your notes to show how the two topics interact. The difference between low impact and medium impact study skills is the information and how you use it. Medium impact study skills, you start to focus more on the mastery of knowledge and a complete understanding of the material instead of focusing on just recall and memorization. If there are techniques you see here that you don't know, be sure to look them up. These techniques should be some of your main focus when it comes to studying. It'll help guide you through the material. Medium impact study skills are where you should be spending a majority of your time when it comes to your study strategies. They are very efficient and they tend to be more engaging and fun. When you make your studies more engaging, your brain tends to retain more. What's even better is there are many different strategies that fit into this medium skills umbrella. So you don't have to stick with just one method of study for each class. In fact, it's recommended that you mix up your study strategies to get the most out of these skills. However, many of these strategies can take time or materials that you need to create. For example, setting up mind maps take the supplies and the time to go through the material and to create. However, once it's created, it can be highly effective in your studies. Another downside you may find in these studies is you may find a strategy that you enjoy, but it won't work for specific courses. Various courses and topics may require different techniques. If you find yourself struggling in a course, be sure to try a couple new techniques and see if that helps. For medium impact study skills, I always give the general advice of studying once per day per class with these skills. Now, obviously, this could change based on your day or your schedule, but you will still want to make sure these skills are where you spend a majority of your time, especially with new content that you are still working to master. Additionally, try a variety of strategies. Doing the same thing each day will start to get monotonous and it'll decrease the effectiveness of your study strategy. A great way to make sure you're mixing things up is to never do the same technique 2 days in a row. This will ensure you have a variety of studying, you get an opportunity to see the material in a variety of ways, and you're getting the most out of your study time. High impact study skills can help you retain anywhere from 60 to 90% of the content you study. These techniques are generally geared towards actively recalling the information, creating connections between the content, and more importantly, really pushing your brain outside of its comfort zone. Techniques such as the Feynman technique or leading a group discussion are highly effective because you not only have to recall the information, but you have to use it in a new way by either teaching or debating the material with others. This ensures you have a true mastery over the topic and can handle various questions and connections about the content. As I mentioned, high impact study skills gives you the maximum retention of course content. It does this by mixing and engaging activities with the testing of the knowledge. This mode of self-testing is important to helping you learn. Additionally, it can help you identify your weak spots in the material, topics that perhaps you haven't fully comprehended yet. The key is in moving forward with your studies is to fill in those weak spots. While these techniques do give you the maximum retention, which means you may want to spend most of your time here, it does have some downsides. Since it pushes your brain to really focus on the material and test your knowledge, it can be exhausting for your brain. When this happens, it can trigger test anxiety, procrastination, and fear of the content. Because of this, when you use these skills, it's important to take regular study breaks, as well as doing self-testing regularly to help you feel more confident in the course material to fight these issues. With high impact study skills, I recommend that you use them once a week for all of the course content, even the past content. This once a week practice, much like with low impact study skills, will fight memory decay and help you identify what you know and what you don't know of the content. Things that you know, meaning you got them completely correct during your practice session, you file in the know category, and those you can just review regularly with the low impact study skills. Meanwhile, any you don't get correct, you want to engage in more medium impact study skills for the remaining week. Then at the end of the next week, take a test again and see how you do. This system will help you understand course content faster and with less stress. Be sure to utilize all types of study skills. Remember, low impact is for review, medium impact is for your main studies, and high impact is for your self-testing. Feel free to try out some new strategies and search for more if you want. There are so many ways to study, so the important bit is to find the methods that work best for you.